It's happening today, people. Another XRP ETF is going live, giving even more opportunities for Wall Street, for the smart money to buy XRP. First, it was Canary Capital. This time today, it is Bitwise. They confirmed its new spot XRP ETF will debut today on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker XRP. This is big, and the reason why Bitwise believes this XRP ETF will do extremely well and why we should be so bullish is because XRP Ledger is one of the longest running blockchains with a 13-year track record and a super vibrant community of supporters. XRP is the world's third largest asset with a $125 billion market cap. XRP is going after a massive $250 trillion cross-border payments opportunity that is going to take over wholeheartedly because XRP can settle payments in 3 to 5 seconds for a fraction of a cent. And XRP has a growing list of assets that are being tokenized on the XRP ledger, including US Treasuries, digital commerce paper, private credit, and money market funds. XRP has all the fundamentals to take over the world, take over the financial landscape, and Wall Street recognize this. And this actually can explain why we're seeing more and more investors pulling out their money from their Bitcoin ETFs, which are now underperforming US Treasury bills, and are actually rotating their former Bitcoin holdings into assets like Ethereum, Solana, and most importantly, XRP. But there are so many more ETF filings in the works coming out soon, as like Grayscale, for example, soon coming out of their GXRP ETF as well. This is just the beginning. And this is all the smart money and world leaders keep reiterating that we are about to see a massive rotation and explosion in crypto and of course in assets like XRP as well. We can hear in this panel discussion that Citadel Security stated, by the way, just before the October 10th crash, coincidentally enough, before that massive liquidation event, you've heard smart money, a panel discussion talking about how we are in a prime position, that institutions and even us retailers, we are not going to want to miss out on the biggest money-making opportunity of a lifetime. That crash, in my belief, was by design because they want to now buy crypto, buy XRP for dirt cheap. Take a listen.
Follow culture and follow money. There is no other today for the next 10 years, if you don't understand where the young are seeing the world going, where they're seeing their art going, where they're seeing their memes going, where they're seeing their trading going, where they're seeing their assets going, you're going to miss out on the biggest opportunity of a new generation of technology exploding. And I will say with one sentence, I said everybody in the world should own Bitcoin, which I'm glad a lot of you do as a way to understand it and prove it. You should do the same with stablecoins, and you should do the same with NFTs and art and meme tokens, because there's no other way to understand where this is going.
As we look at the market chart, XRP is currently valued at $2.09, down roughly 0.57% on the daily time frame, and we seem to be continuing this market downtrend for now. I do believe a reversal is on the horizon. When exactly is tough to tell, but I'm sure we'll see a reversal, maybe some more downtrends, headwinds going forward. But XRP, for me, is still the best asset in this space. Take a step back for a moment and consider the mass adoption that's about to come through with ETF filings and so much more. We're going to see all the markets, especially XRP, soar to the moon. So I'm treating this pullback, this correction in XRP, as another premium discount DCA buying opportunity before the massive explosion and moon candle that comes with XRP in the future. And in fact, it's not just me who's doing that. Fundstrat co-founder and Wall Street expert Tom Lee believes the very same thing, that Ethereum and therefore all altcoins like XRP, especially XRP, they're going to find their bottom this week and explode in value going into 2026 and beyond. Take a listen.
Tom, tell us, you've got these monthly fluctuations. As you say, Ethereum is in a super cycle. What makes you stay bullish?
Well, there's the story of building on Ethereum, and we know that there is a lot taking place. There are stablecoin creations. Larry Fink and BlackRock and Wall Street want to tokenize assets, bring stocks, bonds, real estate onto the blockchain, and they have to find a neutral 100% uptime blockchain. That's Ethereum. And that's the fundamental story. The price, of course, for Ethereum will fluctuate because crypto is hyper volatile. In fact, it's kind of it's sort of a feature of the blockchain itself. And I think we've been in a downtrend, unfortunately. A lot of folks are kind of questioning if we're in a 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. So we talk about that in the chairman's message we published this morning, that the most correlated factor to Bitcoin prices when you see it at Bitcoin at a peak actually is the ISM. So I think we're still in a correction phase of crypto. Crypto suffered from that liquidation event on October 10th, but because the fundamental story is intact and we crypto discounts the future, that's why it's volatile, but it still looks pretty attractive here. And
what
personally, I think
the
that we're
fundamental
pretty close to
story
bottoming
at this
this
point in
week.
time for Ethereum? Because you've got this general market risk-off mentality. So what are some of the idiosyncratic elements that we should be thinking about as it pertains to Ethereum in the meantime?
Well, Ethereum kind of has several ways that it establishes a floor. One is that the value of all the assets locked onto the blockchain, and that number is growing. But historically, Ethereum bottoms when that ratio is about 50%. So I'd say we're pretty close to that level. That's why I think Ethereum probably is bottoming this week. But the other way to look at Ethereum is really its price ratio or even its network value ratio to Bitcoin. It currently sits at, this number is 0.032. The long-term average, like the 8-year average, if we were just to trade to that 8-year average, would put Ethereum at around 12,000. So I think Ethereum is undervalued because, number one, the story is gaining relative to Bitcoin this year. But two, we're getting this sort of intrinsic floor because of the value that the assets locked onto the Ethereum blockchain.
Time to lock in, people. Don't get shaken out by these institutions and the market manipulation. Learn more, level up your trading game. In fact, to find out more and lock in more, come check out the VIP here, wop.com/coin factory. Get ahead of the retail market. We have other documentation, learning what smart money is saying to their clients ahead of time, allowing us to get ahead of them, the retail market, educational courses, trade alerts, weekly live streams, and so much more, making money as we go. All links down below in the description. 7-day free trial as well, so check it out for free. And as always, family, remember, don't look short term, think long term. I'll see you there, and I'll see you in the next one.